Welcome into MIAA Saturday. I'm Harry Loomis.
And I'm Calvin Silvers.
It's hard to believe that we're already into the month of November, but that means we're much closer to crowning an MIAA football champion.
Starting with the marquee matchup, Nebraska-Kearney at Northwest Missouri. Bearcats were up early until TJ Davis fakes the handoff and tosses it to Damian Kearns, who shakes free and dives it in for the 7-6 lead. The lead didn't last. 2nd and 13. Hohensee says, I need to make a play. So he takes a snap and runs with it. Gets some good blocking, and he says, I'll see you later. 56 yards for the sophomore, and the Bearcats would take this one 66-13.
Heading to Yager Stadium at Moore Bowl, it was all Washburn in their matchup with Northeastern State. The points came early for the Ichabods as Mitch Shurk stood comfortably in the pocket, stepped up, and slings a 39-yard bomb to Peter Offel, who gets tackled into the end zone. Washburn would add 28 more points on their way to a 35-0 victory over the Riverhawks.
We had a defensive battle at Fort Hays hosting Emporia State. 8 of the first 9 drives in the second half were punts until Adrian Soto decided he'd had enough. He takes a pitch and makes it 12-0. The Hornets, though, relentless until the end. Last minute, 3rd and 7, Braden Gleason rush, dishes it to Cannon Brooks. He goes left, cuts, and takes it all the way right. He's got the blocking, and it's a touchdown. It's a 7-yard score, but he probably ran 50. What a comeback by Emporia State. They win 15-12.
We move over to a shootout in Jefferson City between Central Missouri and Lincoln. Down 14-0 in the first quarter, the Blue Tigers were trying to gain some momentum on their own turf. Torrey Hicks lines up to the right, takes the ball, and cuts on a dime to get back to the right side. He uses his balance after a hit to the legs and falls past the goal line for a Blue Tiger touchdown. But it was all Central Missouri after that. Logan Tweehouse enjoys all the time in the world, and a flashback of playing in the backyard must have popped into his head as he finds his brother Trevor Tweehouse running alone, and Trevor does the rest for a 41-yard brother duo touchdown. The Mules win this one 77-35.
We had a good one in Pittsburgh. Gorillas hosting the Broncos. Early on, it was all Pitt State. Late second quarter, Tyler Atkins gets the handoff and powers in to make it a 27-ball game. The Broncos wouldn't go down without a fight. Late fourth quarter, Keats Calhoun fires it up the middle to Josh Moore. He snags it, and it's a 26-20 game. Unfortunately, the comeback was too little too late as Pittsburgh State holds on for the win.
The last game featured Missouri Western and Missouri Southern. The Lions found themselves down 17-6 before halftime, but were 3 yards out from bringing momentum into the locker room. Dawson Hurl rolls out to his right and barely gets the ball off before taking a hit. Doesn't matter, as Keandre Bledsoe waits for the ball in the back of the end zone and gets a foot down for a touchdown. The momentum didn't last long, as the Griffins had a quick answer. Don't blink, because you might miss Cooper Burton as he flies past the entire Lions defense, and Regan Jones placed the ball perfectly for a 40-yard touchdown pass. The Griffins would pull away 45-28.
With 2 weeks left in the regular season, teams are fighting for the top spots in the MIAA. Let's check out the standings.
Coming in at number 1 is Northwest Missouri State, who gained the top spot after beating Nebraska-Kearney. Nebraska-Kearney, Pittsburgh State, and Washburn all sit at 7-2 in the 2 through 4 spots. Emporia State is the lone team in the 5th spot at 5-4. Fort Hays State, Central Oklahoma, and Missouri Western hold a 4-5 record and occupy spots 6 through 8. Central Missouri and Missouri Southern share a 3-6 record. Northeastern State comes in at the 11th spot at 2-7. Lincoln rounds out the group. The Mammoth Turf Special Teams Player of the Week is Pittsburgh State kicker Cross Holmes. Holmes tied the Pittsburgh State single-game record for the second time this season by booting 4 field goals in Pitt State's 26-20 victory over Central Oklahoma. The freshman kicker matched his season-long kick by connecting on a 54-yard field goal with 2 minutes and 24 seconds to play in the first quarter. He converted 4 of 5 field goals on the day, also making kicks from 25, 35, and 49 yards out in the game. For the season, Holmes is 14 of 18 on field goal attempts. He leads the MIAA and is tied for the Division II lead in field goals per game with 2.
The Mammoth Turf Offensive Player of the Week is Mike Hohensee from Northwest Missouri. Hohensee came up big time in the Bearcats' biggest game of the year, going 14 of 18 for 270 yards. He was responsible for 32 of the Bearcats' 66 points, the exclamation point being that 56-yard run. I sat down with Hohensee this week ahead of a matchup with Missouri Southern.
We are here with MIAA Offensive Player of the Week, Mike Hohensee, quarterback for Northwest Missouri. Mike, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me on.
All right, so what's the reaction from teammates? Because obviously an award like this, it goes around, goes on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, you name it. What's the reaction from, teammates, friends, family after getting named the Mammoth Turf Offensive Player of the Week?
Everyone's just really congratulating me this week. We try not to make too big of a deal of it because that's not just a one-player award. It takes a whole team effort to have someone to even be able to get that. So we're just focusing on ourselves as a team and how we can improve so everyone can be successful.
Right. So for you personally, you go from punter early in the season to now the starting quarterback. That mentality at Northwest, it's next man up. They expect results early and often. So how did you prepare yourself to be in a position to have as much success as you've had right out of the gate?
I mean, well, in the meeting rooms or during practice, when I wasn't the starter, I just prepared as if I was. And then so when Braden went down with an injury, it was so we didn't have to skip a beat. I mean, I've been at this. This is my fourth year at this school, and I don't want to go in the game making freshman mistakes. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to continue the progress that we're on and help our team be successful.
Absolutely. So you did get select playing time back in 2019 while you were still the punter. So how difficult was it learning the playbook while also having your special teams responsibilities?
Well, really, punting was never like a main thing for me. I was always just a quarterback that could kick the ball. I wasn't even recruited to be a punter at this school. They just we needed a punter, and they saw me punting after practice one day, and I was punting it pretty well. So that's how they kind of taught me to start punting. But I've mainly just focused on playing quarterback here, and I just worked on punting on the side.
That's awesome. I didn't know that story. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So obviously, the Northwest football program is one of the most storied in Division II. So how special is it for you personally to be a Bearcat? What does Bearcat football mean to you?
I mean, I know they say it all the time, but it's really all about family. We're all one group here. We're a brotherhood. We work no matter what we face. We feel like we can get the job done. And obviously, in years past, we've been very successful here, and we're just trying to continue it.
Well, Mike, it's been a pleasure getting to watch you. So we'll be watching the rest of the season. Best of luck here this weekend.
Awesome. Thank you.
The Mammoth Turf Defensive Player of the Week is Dawson Hammes from Emporia State. Dawson led the Hornets defense with 12 tackles in the Hornets' 15-12 win at Fort Hays State. The Defensive Player of the Week comes up big when it matters, and Dawson is no exception. 2 of his tackles came on the Tigers' final drive when they were driving for a potential game-tying or winning score. He had a touchdown-saving tackle after a 29-yard gain on second down with under a minute left, and then was in on the third down stop with 25 seconds left. I had the honor to interview Dawson after his breakout performance.
All right, I'm here with Dawson Hammes from Emporia State. Dawson, how you doing?
Not too bad.
Awesome. Well, I just want to get right into it. I want you to talk about the feeling of receiving the Mammoth Turf MIAA Defensive Player of the Week. What are your feelings after you saw you won that award?
Honestly, I was pretty surprised, but I knew I couldn't have been nominated if we didn't get that win. So getting that win solidified it, and getting the award afterwards, it felt pretty good too. So it was my first time. I was happy.
Well, that's awesome. That was your first time. Get to enjoy it. And like you said, the defense as a whole was just impressive for you guys. Kind of talk about your defense and how you were able to hold Fort Hays State, who averages 29 points per game, to just 12 in your guys' 15-12 win.
Yeah, we knew we had to lock in this week or for that week, and we did it. So the back end, they really stepped up. We knew they had a big challenge coming their way, and we kind of wanted them to run the ball. So when any opportunity was there, our defense really stepped up and made some big plays, and our offense was able to capitalize from those big plays.
And like you said, you wanted them to run more probably than you wanted them to pass, because they are the second ranked passing team in the MIAA. And I know you kind of just went over it, but if there's more to it, just talk about how you held Chance Fuller, the quarterback for the Tigers, to just 148 yards passing.
Like I said, we got some guys really step up on the back end, and we tried to pressure them whenever we could. And like I said, our guys made some plays. There's not much to it. We executed our game plan, and they did well. They did well. So we've been struggling with that a little bit this year, and them stepping up at that time, they rise to the occasion. So I was proud of them.
And what a time to rise to the occasion. And you
For sure.
Yeah, you yourself rose to the occasion. You had 12 tackles on Saturday against Fort Hays State. And 2 of those tackles came on the Tigers' final drive as they were trying to either score or have a game-tying score. Talk about what Coach said to you going into that final drive on defense and what kicked it for you to come up big for your team.
Well, we had to be smart on those last few possessions. So no big plays and just keep them in front of you, no penalties. And like I said, you had to make a few plays, step up, and make sure you got it done when it counts. So, I mean, count it when it matters. So that's all.
That's right. And you guys are now winners of 2 straight games. What is clicking for Emporia State right now? What's clicking for you guys?
Well, the ball's finally rolling our way a little bit. We like to say that a little bit. We've had some tough ones go back and forth, but we want to keep this momentum going. We want to keep moving forward, and see how we can finish out this year, man, because we've been a good team. We know that, but we want to continue showing that. And, every week's a new challenge. So new opportunity to show them what we got.
That's right. And like you said, more opportunities coming your way. And you guys have a chance to play Lincoln coming up for 3 straight wins. It's also on Senior Day, and it's the last home game of the regular season. What can we expect from the Hornets Saturday against Lincoln with all of this happening and all this going on?
You don't want to get like Senior Day to get to your head, but we do want to go out, do it for those seniors. They've paved the path for a lot of the guys in our program. They've done it the right way. So we've had a good week, and we want to, prepare like we would for Lincoln, any other team, because it's just as important. But like I said, we want to go out there, get a win. A lot of those seniors last time out on Welch Stadium. So I don't know. We're ready to go, ready to, kick some butt.
There you go. And like I said, could be 3 straight this weekend for you guys. You said the ball's finally rolling your guys' way. What's something that you want the fans to know just about this Hornets team, especially down the stretch here of the regular season?
Don't give up on us, because we won't give up. So come out there, support us, get loud, and cheer us on to a nice win.
There you go. Well, Dawson, I appreciate you taking the time to talk with me today, and congratulations on the MIAA Defensive Player of the Week.
Right on. Thank you.
Have a good one.
Yeah, you too.
Although the season is winding down, the action is not. The competitions are fierce, and I can't wait to see the matchup between Washburn and Pittsburg State, as both teams are 7-2.
The key for Washburn will be setting the tone early. Having to play in a hostile environment like the jungle, you'll want to take the crowd out of it early. Don't be afraid to utilize all your players again to keep the Gorillas on their toes, as the Ichabods used 13 different ball carriers in last week's game. For Pittsburg State, you're in a big matchup and need your main man to step up to the plate. The main man would be your quarterback, Max Sexton. The redshirt sophomore has a 10-4 record in 14 career starts for the Gorillas and has completed 151 of 244 passes for 2,065 yards and 16 touchdowns on the season.
I'm going to be watching Nebraska Kearney at Central Oklahoma. Both teams are coming off losses, and I'm very curious to see how they bounce back. For Nebraska Kearney, I just want to see a confident football team. Northwest got them good last week, but they do that to everyone. Nobody has accumulated more yards than the TJ Davis-led offense. They're at their best when they're loose, having some fun. They're 7-2 for a reason. For the Broncos, they're going against one of the most explosive offenses in the MIAA. So how do you counter this? Just don't give them the ball. The Lopers defense allows 6 yards a play on average. If Keats Calhoun and that offense can keep drives going, this should make for a great game of football. Here's a look at next week's matchups. Missouri Western's at Lincoln, Northeastern goes to Kearney, Fort Hays hosts Pitt State, Missouri Southern's at Washburn, the Mules host the Broncos, and Northwest hosts Emporia. That will do it for MIAA Saturday. We look forward to seeing you here again next week.
Be sure to follow us across our social media platforms and catch all the MIAA action on the MIAA Network. I'm Calvin Silvers.
And I'm Harry Loomis. See you next week.